You can put your business or event on KNON. KNON currently has space available to run announcements for you. Tell KNON's listeners about your goods, services, nightclub, concert, or event. Help keep the voice of the people on the air while putting your information on the air. KNON's been named the #1 radio station in Dallas by both the Dallas Observer and D Magazine. Put your business with Dallas's #1 station. Call now for more information at 214-828-9500, extension 227, or extension 233. For more information, go to KNON.org and click on the Run Spots on KNON page. It's a great way for your business to support community radio while letting more people know about you.
Yo, what's up? I'm gonna kick it with mine, y'all know. Yo, Slim, can I kick it like this? Here we go. Well, it's time to make that change. People of the world today are fading. All of us have our ups and downs. You better think about it or you won't be around. What we need is a little bit of love, sent by one from heaven up above. Chicken for tea is simple and plain. This ain't no game, you know what I'm saying? What?
It's time.
Yep, yeah.
Time to make the change.
Here we go. Yo, Mob, kick it for me one time.
What is the world coming to? Seems like everyone is running from the truth.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is September 21st, 2013. I want to say good morning to you all who are listening this morning. Got a lot to talk about. This is Church Information in Open Forum. I'm Marion Barnett Jr., your host this morning. There's a lot going on this morning, so make sure you get your fingers ready to call in. Want to talk about a lot this morning. Wake up this morning and Mike Miles is still in office in DISD. So make sure you call in and come and do some venting this morning. 972-647-1893 is that number to call. 972-647-1893. There's other things going on locally, nationally, statewide. There's a lot of things that you guys that you all have on your mind. Make sure that you are expressing exactly how you feel. Young man did something devastating in D.C. this week. Killed about 12 people? Killed about 12 people this week at the Navy base. So make sure you call in and express exactly how you feel. All right. Marion Barnett Sr. is out this morning. He's going on vacation once again. So let's make sure you send out your prayers for him that he returns safely. So let's do that. All right. Let me give you that number. Let me give you that number again to call. It's 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. I'd like to give a little history fact this morning on this great Saturday morning. In 1933, Clifford Alexander was the first black secretary of the U.S. Army. He was born on this day in New York City. He was the first black secretary in the U.S. Army. That's Clifford Alexander Jr. So that's one of our little African-American history facts this morning. On September 21st, Clifford Alexander Jr. was born. He was the first U.S. Army secretary. First U.S. Army secretary. All right. Getting a lot of feedback in here. It's very loud. Okay. All right. Let's get back to talking about this Mike Miles situation. Mike Miles situation with DISD. He's still in the office. They met Thursday night with the Board of Trustees, and they came away with him still being in office. So there are a lot of people commenting. Even the mayor, Mike Rawlings, is commenting backing Superintendent Mike Miles in this catastrophe. It's been a long time since Well, it hasn't been that long. Since DISD has had a very good superintendent. To me, it makes me question some of the Board of Trustees. Not all of them, but some of them, because they have the vote to vote it. They will go out and seek out superintendents and they vote them in. So with them doing that, and we haven't had a good DISD superintendent in a long time, it makes me question their decision making. Are they competent to do their jobs? It's something that the voters need to really look into. When was the last time we had a very good superintendent? I think it was back when I was in school. Yeah, and that was in the 1990s. So it's one of those things that, hey, we have a superintendent who's has been presented with violating two major violations. One of them is writing resignation letters for his top employees. So, you know, those type of things that cannot go on in this big of a district. DSD is a multi-million-dollar business, and that's why so many people are trying to get down here to take it over. They love to take it over. Every superintendent we've had within the last 10 years have left in a situation where either it was money involved, stealing money, doing unethical things. So we really got to dig deep and research their backgrounds. We got to dig deep and research some backgrounds. If you're a DISD member and you don't want your name to be mentioned, feel free to call in and say, hey, I'm anonymous, but I do want to make this comment. Today is your day to represent. You know, I know there was a protest last Saturday down at the DISD building. Give us a call and let us know how it went. What was the outcome of that protest? I know you all were able to speak to the board about your decisions. I know you all also marched this week. So give us a call. Let us know exactly what it is that's frustrating you about this. We would love to hear from you. Also, don't just limit yourself to the DISD situation. Call in and comment on other situations as well. There's a lot going on. DISD is just one of the things I'm looking at because I'm a former DISD employee. Also, me being a product of DISD, I look at these situations very closely. So feel free to give us a call. That number is 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. I want to hear your call and comment this morning. You know, I know it is early, but for the early birds, they always get the worm. You get the best of the shows. Church Information in Open Forum is an open show for you to call in, to express exactly how you feel. It is your voice. This is the station of the voice of the people. So make sure you are expressing exactly how you feel. You know, this show has been on the air for over 20 years, this particular show. And, you know, it doesn't run off just free air and free electricity. So, you know, this show's been going for a long time. We got to make sure we keep it up. But you got to call in, express how you feel, you know, show the public exactly what you're venting about. You know, sometimes you'll call in and other people may feel the exact same way. They feel the exact same way. And we can call in with some solutions, not just issues and problems all the time. You know, we can always find a problem. But when you get a good multitude of people together who have various feelings, you can also come up with a solution. And that's what I think that we're missing in a lot of our issues is we don't focus on the solution because we're too busy griping about the issue, the problem. Now, there's some problems that need to be griped about. However, you never gripe about a problem unless you are intending to give a solution. So let's make sure we call in with our issues. Then also let's try to give some dialogue, some solutions to what we can do to resolve these problems. If you got a platform where we all can come together, feel free to call in. Feel free to call in. Give us that platform. A day and time where we all can come together and say, hey, okay, these are the issues. How are we going to solve them? Our youth are watching us. And we have to set an example of, hey, there's always resolution with a problem, because a lot of our youth are growing up doing things and all they see is the issues, and they react in such a manner that it is devastating to their health, it's devastating to their environment, it's devastating to everything that's going on around them. So we have to show them with every issue there is a resolution. And, you know, back in the day they used to march and rally and do certain things to get that attention away from just so much the negative, but bring it up in such a way that it turned it to be a positive thing. And I think they've pumped the spirit of fear into us because we don't do it anymore. The spirit of fear is one of those things that, you know, some people feel like fear is stronger than love. I disagree, but I've heard people say it a lot. Fear is stronger than love. So let's make sure that we're not expressing that spirit of fear in front of our youth. Let's get out. Let's march, not just in small numbers, because we know, we want it to be known what we're doing, and they won't report it if it's just one or two. So we have to get out and march, come together and march. I don't care if you're in North Dallas, South Dallas, East Dallas, or West Dallas. You got to bring it all together in one central location, and let's come together as a people and march. All right? Or just come together as a platform first to get a dialogue together. And I'm a sports fanatic or a football fan, and one thing they always do before they run a play, or they're getting away from it now, but is they huddle up to get the play call. They huddle up. So we got to come together, huddle up, get this play call that we need to do, come with next. So that way when we present to everyone, we're able to present in a manner that we all on the same page. We know exactly what we're doing. All right. So let's make sure you get those fingers ready. And let's start calling in 972-647-1893. It's a 2-hour show. You know, it used to be 1 hour. So, gave you an extra hour, your own time slot. It used to be the quickest hour. Now it's a quick 2 hours. However, it is still open for you to call in and do that. So we got to make sure we're utilizing our time. We got to make sure we're utilizing our voice. We give you 2 hours a week. 2 hours a week to give you a call, open up and talk, dialogue, not just nationally. We like to handle things that's going on locally, because this is things we can touch. We can actually reach out and say, hey, we can see our struggles and we can see our resolutions because it affects directly us. All right? So if you have a voice and you're willing to do something about it, stand up. Get out the bed and get up and let's get it rolling. But if you don't want to do anything about it, go back to sleep. Just stay asleep. All right? I think Mr. Greg Barber said that the last time I was on here. If you're not going to get up and stand up, go back to sleep. It's always resonated with me. So we do have one call. Let's go to our phone lines this morning and say good morning to Tony. Tony, good morning. Good morning, Tony.
Good morning. How you doing?
Doing just fine, sir.
All right. Get a little feedback on my phone. So I'll try to make this brief. Yesterday, I heard the man Carolyn on the radio. 2 different stations.
Hey, Tony, do me a favor. Turn your radio down just a little bit.
I don't have radio on.
You have radio? Okay, we're getting some feedback.
Yeah, I was going to say I hear myself.
Oh, you got the cell phone?
No, cordless phone.
Oh, cordless phone. Okay. Hey, go ahead.
But anyway, and he was talking about this meeting they have on race in Dallas. And on one stage, he said that it's about race, not racism, which is kind of weird. It's Boston word. And he called another radio station, a religious station, and had a different tone. And to me, it's like, if you're going to have a conversation about racism, you can't change the conversation because the station is white and the other one's black. And the whole point is the community to come together and air out the differences between black, white, and Hispanic. I wanted to call in on one of the radio stations to add Elba Garcia's on one of them. Is that, I've heard blacks say this about Hispanic people. this is America. You speak Spanish. You speak American. And I wanted to see how Dwayne addressed that. And I heard this on one of the radio stations that he goes on frequently, that people have said that. And for El Garcia, I wanted to go about immigration. And the immigration part is, if you have immigration for Hispanic, what about immigration for Africans to get in here? There's a quota getting here, and that's something in common we can work with the Hispanic community. Is okay, you're trying to get an immigration policy changed. We need to change for Africans getting in, and I'll leave you with that.
Well, hold on, Tony, because let me make sure I got it right, because we had a little complications with understanding exactly what you're saying due to your cordless phone. Who is it that you said held this meeting?
Oh, they had the city of Dallas, Elba Garcia, Dwayne Caraway, and the mayor.
Okay, Mike Rawlings.
Mike Rawlings.
Mm-hmm.
And it will be like a 4 or 5 segment conversation about race. I mean, day is one. You got one a day, and downtown.
One today downtown. What time?
I don't know. And they're gonna have about 4 or 5 conversations.
And you have 4 or 5 conversations. One of them is the topic is race.
Yeah, and the day is dealing with the media and race.
Media and race.
Yes.
Okay, that's today's topic. Okay.
Yeah. So,
and do you know who's on the panel to be speaking, or anybody can come down, or how does that work?
Well, I heard anybody can come down.
Mm-hmm.
I know Bob Ray Sanders is gonna be there.
Who?
Bob Ray Sanders.
Bob Ray Sanders.
The other one is from the Elite.
Elite News.
Yeah, one of the black newspapers.
Okay.
And someone else. I don't know who that is.
Okay, so they're discussing media for races. I guess how it portrays African Americans, how it portrays Hispanic community, how it portrays the Caucasian community, things of that nature. Correct?
Yeah. And the one thing I want to add to this is that I want to think the way you cannot separate race and demographics. North Dallas is different based on what South Dallas is because it's economic and money. And the ID issue is race. Hispanic, black, white. And it seemed like he was kind of parse that. He was on the white station. So on the black station, he kind of like, well, it is about race. And that kind of made me think about that you playing 2 sides,
Right. So, again, I'm trying to make sure we understand exactly what you're saying, because, again, your phone kind of fading in and out. So I'm catching bits and pieces of what you're saying. You said in North Dallas versus South Dallas?
Yes.
There's a difference on the radio?
No, difference in money and economics.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, different in economics and money.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And
the school district is the same way. It is about race and money.
Yeah, a lot of everything ties back into money, but a lot of it does have to do with race and how we do certain things. And you don't know the time or this topic is being taking place with the mayor as well as other district reps?
No, I do not.
Okay.
We
have to try to
let anybody like your father.
Excuse me?
I'm surprised they didn't let people like your father know.
Oh, he probably does. He probably does know. Yeah. We have to research that and try to find out. But Tony, we thank you for your call and comment and enlightening us on that. We're up against a short break. This is Church Information Open Forum. I am Marion Barnett Jr., your hosting this morning. But get those fingers ready at 972-647-1893 to call in. Again, we're up against a short break.
The Fair Housing Act prohibits discrimination on the basis of race, color, religion, sex, national origin, disability, and familial status. A message from HUD in partnership with the National Fair Housing Alliance. The only way to stop housing discrimination is to report it. HUD.gov/fairhousing or 1-800-669-9777. A public service message from HUD in partnership with the National Fair Housing Alliance.
right, good morning. We're back. This is Church Information in Open Forum. I am Marion Barnett Jr., hosting this morning on this great Saturday, September 21st this morning. I wanted to give another African American history fact this morning. On September 21st, 1905, Atlanta Life Insurance Company was established by an African American family. That is, Atlanta Life Insurance Company was established on this day, September 21st, 1905. I know they used to, I looked at CNN one time, and they were talking about certain things, and we had more businesses back in those days than we do now. So right now we're in the age of technology and so many things. So a lot of people are trying to open businesses and things of that nature. So one of those facts is Atlanta Life Insurance Company was established on this day. If you're interested in opening a small business and things of that nature, I think the open forum that Brother Tony's called in about earlier would be a good opportunity if you go down and express exactly how you feel. A lot of people are always talking about how it's so hard to get a small business loan, as an African American, but you can come in any other way and get it, anything. Your credit is great, So Tony called in and expressed that Mike Rawlings and other city councils are hosting a forum where you can open up and talk about race. And today's topic is media and how it portrays us in the media, not just African Americans, all cultures. And it'd be a good opportunity for some of us to go down and express exactly how we feel in the public light. All right. Also, this morning we're talking about DISD. Mike wake up this morning. Mike Myers is still the superintendent. Met with the board of trustees on, I believe it was last night, and when he came out, he was still the superintendent. There were findings of him doing certain things inappropriately. One of those things is writing resignation letters for some of the officers in position that had high positions that were against some of the board of trustees. So he wrote their resignation letters. So it's one of those things that, what did they meet about where they came out and say, okay, we want you to stay in office? So what was said in that office meeting? Last week there was a protest down at the 3700 Ross. What, if you were there, call in, express exactly what happened, what went on. If you want to be anonymous, you can do that. If you are a DISD teacher, board member, faculty member, call in with your calling company. You can also be anonymous as well. That number is 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. You don't have to just keep it locally. We can always go take it statewide, take it nationally. There's a lot of things going on. A young man in North Carolina was shot 12 times by an officer. African American man shot 12 times by an officer. That's overkill. And a lot of people are looking into this situation. They're trying to make it public, trying to make it known. Ever since this decision of Trayvon Martin, there's been more deaths among the African American men and everybody's that's in these states like Florida, another 20 states that are carrying this law where you can scream self-defense or yeah. Hello? Am I still on? Am I still on? Okay. Well, you can scream self-defense, things of that nature. Can't hear it in here. So make sure you call in and comment. That number is 972-647-1893. Give me 1 second. We up.
You're on here.
Okay. Well, good. The situation with the DISD, it's one of those situations where we got to step up. We got to step up and start showing our youth. We got a lot of kids in DISD, and we got to show them exactly what it takes to get things resolved. There's a lot of charter schools being built around DISD, in lieu of all this with that's going on with the ISD. You got charter schools being built, and I'm not personally for the charter schools being built. I know there are some that say they're a good thing. However, looking into a couple of them, teachers don't have to be certified. They don't have any, as long as they got a degree, they can come in and teach whatever they want, or certain subjects that I ask. So make sure you call in and comment. Call in and express exactly how you feel. What's better about a charter school that benefits us as an African American community? What's better? Is it that you're building your own district? Is it that you can keep others away? Because we've been in this arena before where only certain people can get in. So surely we're not opening up an arena where we're saying only certain people can come in and you can discriminate, and because that's what it looks like. Only certain people can get in these schools. You have to have certain things accomplished, be in a certain area code, be in a certain class of people, and they can keep out whoever they want. We have one of the best schools in the nation right here, the number one school in the nation right here in Oak Cliff, Townview, and right down the street from it, we have one of the schools that need a lot of help. So it shows that this district, it has power. If they want to change certain things, they can do it. So call in and comment. That number again is 972-647-1893, 972-647-1893. This station, like I said, has been on for a long time, and we want to keep it going. We want to keep that energy rolling. A lot of people have come in and been on the show with my father, Ebenezer Johnson. You've had on Greg Ellis, a lot of popular people. So even one of the board members, Carla Rangers, has been on. So make sure you all call in and comment, express exactly how you feel. We want to make sure that you're open to talk about what you talk about. Just remember, keep all your comments to a minimum 2 minutes, and we can dialogue from that. Okay? Let's talk about this DISD situation. I want to keep it going because it's one of the most recent situations that's going on. There was a protest this week where people went out and protested where they were trying to encourage Mike Miles to leave the district. He already sent his family back to Colorado. So, I mean, there's something going on. So, the protest was really in regards to, hey, step down. But he's being resistant. He doesn't want to step down, even after the findings. Where they had ordered to come in and find out exactly what it is he's doing that's unethical. I know many of the teachers in the DISD district are not for Mike Miles. He's made a lot of changes around the district, getting rid of people, bringing in his own staff, whether it be valid or invalid. But he's rubbed this community, this district in the wrong way. I think he was brought in for strict reasons. He had a history of, I assume, changing around districts and things of that nature. But did they look in depth at his background? Did they go really dig deep and look into his background? Did he know someone and came as a referral? How is it that they bypassed all of this? They didn't know this was going to happen. Or is he carrying out the assignments that he was brought in to do? Really? When you think about it, when he met with the board, I mean, they had to know some of this was going to take place. Some of this was, I'm sure he's mentioned before, and maybe he's doing exactly what he said he was going to do. However, he could be deemed as a scapegoat. Maybe he is. Call in. Let's talk about it. The number is 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. Also, we're looking into this morning, Brother Tony called in and expressed that there's a dialogue going on with the mayor this morning in downtown Dallas, where they are hosting a media, they're hosting like a town hall for all races to come together and kind of talk about the media and how it shows us and presents us in a certain light, whether it be Hispanic, African American, Caucasian, Asian, things of that nature. Whoever you are, if you're up and you want to get down there, feel free to go down there and represent us in a light that is positive. Also, give us a call as well. Represent us and tell us exactly what's on your mind. That's what we need to hear. What's on your mind? What's on your heart? What's on your mind? Give us a call. We would love to hear from you. Also in the news, there's the young man that killed all those people on the Navy base. What do you think he was going through to do something so menacing like that? You have a lot of people speaking out that say they kind of saw the signs of him leading up to certain things. He said certain things, but however they didn't intervene, and it's cost about 12 people their lives. So we want to make sure you keep our military services in their prayers, and keep them in their prayers. Also, they in the government, they are trying to get rid of the Accountable Care Act, which they call Obamacare. Trying to get rid of it. They want to shut down government. Shut down government is the theme until they resolve this. They're waiting on the Senate, the Senate to make their decision, but they want to shut down Obamacare. I personally think everybody needs health insurance. It's one of those things that's been great, that has been tried to be pushed many years ago, but haven't been able to be pushed. President Obama is the first president to get this passed, pushed through, and I can already kind of feel the effects of it. Those that will have you to believe that you should have a choice if you want it or not. You should have a choice if you want it or not. However, you got laws that say if you don't wear your seatbelt, you're gonna get a ticket. Well, this is similar. If you don't have insurance, you may be penalized. The insurance is one thing that you gotta have. You gotta be covered. This is only to help you, to protect you. But those that can afford certain things, they want it for themselves, they want to be separated from others, want you to believe, hey, now you got a choice. Now you have a choice. Choose. If you don't want it, don't take it, because you can't afford it. So make sure you all are vigilant. Make sure you're vigilant and that you're calling in, and that you're active in exactly what you're listening to, what you're hearing, because all I've been hearing is about this getting Obamacare repealed, and it's one of those things we need. And why are they trying so hard for this? Out of all things going on where you're trying so hard for this, you're trying so hard to get rid of what people need. So it really shows you who's on your side. All right, let's go to our phone lines once again. To our phone line, say good morning to Anonymous. Good morning, Anonymous.
Yeah, I would like to say that the situation in the school board is there are a lot of crooked people there, and when you break your contract, then that's grounds for dismissal right there. You don't have to go through a whole procedure. If you break the contract, then you have broke the law in terms of your employment situation, so he should have been fired. And another thing they have going on in DISD, there are people that are in special ed. They are taking physics courses. Did you hear what I said? They are taking physics courses. They're in special ed, but they're taking physics courses.
Physics.
Mm-hmm. So these are some of the things that people probably don't know that's happening. But he should have been fired because he's lost all his credibility.
I agree. I feel the same way. However, he was not fired, and like I said, like you just stated, he has been found guilty of certain breach of contract, writing resignation letters for his own. What does it? Do you feel like he must have something on these board members, or
the board members should be above reproach? They represent the people.
But what I see, the people's interest is not being held, and probably, like you say, somebody's getting paid under the table.
Yeah, and I don't know if they're getting paid on the table, but they very well could be. However, it's one of those things that it makes me wonder. All this happened, and wake up this morning, he's in office, he's still in seat. Is the board really handling what the people want? Because the people are protesting. I haven't met a teacher that says he's good yet.
Well, I worked with a teacher, and it was horrible. The bullying that was going on. This man came in as a bully, and we were fighting for the kids to stop bullying. And when he came in, and that's exactly what he did, started bullying the teachers and stuff. So until the people stand up and demand the right thing to do, we'll continue with this crook. This is why we don't respect America, because we don't respect our own selves. We'll break our own rules. We allow people to break our rules, and then we demand that we respect.
Excuse me, sir. Could you say it one more time? Yeah, I think your phone was breaking up a little bit.
We can't demand respect from the world when we don't obey our own rules, when we allow our own rules to be broken.
Hey, that said a lot in that itself. However, we got to start holding our board members accountable. We got to let them know, hey, our vote is what got you in there. So if they don't want to adhere to it, maybe we need to reconsider who's in office and who's on these boards that's getting paid to bring such terrible assistance in with this superintendent. And I don't know when you were there, but when was the last time we had a good superintendent in DISD?
They run them off. All your good people come in, they run them off. And then they have to go to these little small school districts and get these leaders that have no ability to work on $1 billion budget.
Well, there it is in itself. That's the boards running them off.
Yes.
Okay. So
and the news media, don't let me leave them out. The news media help run them off too. Your Channel 8, your Channel 5, all those people.
The media and your board members, which again makes me say that's why we need to evaluate our board. Because if they're running the good ones off, but they're keeping in the ones that's causing all this turbulence and all this confusion, that says a lot. How much is being spent under the table to keep this man in? I know he had a lot of issues with passing this test this past summer and just to remain a superintendent. So it's too much going on. I think it's time out for all the foolishness, and we all need to come together. I thank you for your call and comment, sir. Your voice has been heard. All right, we're up against a short break. But again, get your fingers ready. Get ready to call in. 972-647-1893. You can remain anonymous if you don't want to call. We're talking about everything this morning under the sun. So give us a call, 972-647-1893. I'm Marion Barnett Jr., hosting this morning, and this is Church Information in Open Forum.
Want to find out about upcoming events at KNON? Want to see pictures from past events or need information about the station? Then you need to like the official KNON Facebook page. It's easy to find. Just go to facebook.com/KNON893. It's the KNON 89.3 FM station-produced page for Facebook. It's the easiest way to keep up with what's going on here at KNON. Like us and share with your friends today. That's facebook.com/KNON893. Accept no substitutions.
All right, good morning. We're back. This is Church Information in Open Forum. I'm Marion Barnett Jr., hosting this morning, filling in for Marion Barnett Sr., who's on vacation this morning, and we wish them well on their trip down to Houston. So, my mother and father, I hope you guys are okay. I'm praying for your safe return. This morning we've been talking about DISD. Wake up this morning and Mike Myers is still in the office, still in the seat. Met with the Board of Trustees And whatever they came up with, they found a reason to keep them, even after the violations have been specified, even the breach of contract, and they have all the rights to get rid of him. He's still in his seat. So there's a lot of questions that I have, and maybe you teachers, faculty members, even board members, if you want to remain anonymous, feel free to call in. Let's dialogue. Let's talk a bit. Maybe you know something that needs to be specified in public. The media puts a spin on every little thing. However, this one they've been on point. They love to track DISD, and this is your opportunity to come on and specify certain things in our community, because this is about us. This is about our children. This is about all those kids that are in DISD. If you're a former DISD student, this is about you. It's being proactive, not just reactive. Anybody can react to a situation, but it's time to be proactive. Let's take charge in this. Call in with your comment. Call in with your solution. Call in with your information. If you need to vent about certain things, call in. We love to hear from you. And the number you use is 972-647-1893. You can remain anonymous. You don't have to say your name, things of that nature. It won't be held against you, okay? So give us a call. And if you don't want to talk about the DSD situation, give us a call. There's a lot of other things going on. I would love to dialogue with you, sit and talk with you, just pick your brain a little bit. That's how we get certain things out in the open. Young man called earlier this morning and let us know that the city of Dallas is doing a race relations discussion this morning. And we're still trying to figure out exactly where and what time. He said it was downtown. That very well could be at the convention center, I believe he said. But we don't know the time. So if you know that information, give us a call. We'd love to know what time that's going on. And today's discussion about race in the media. You know, we have so many things that when we are talked about in the media, you rarely ever see anything positive. You rarely ever see anything positive. And it's a good opportunity to go down there and dialogue and sit down and talk about certain cultures. For example, I know many people get upset with the when you go to a gas station and maybe it's a Asian gas station, and the person you hand them your card and they give you your change or your money back, put it down on the table and push it back to you. Most of us feel like that's very disrespectful. And I've learned that to them that's a sign of submission. So it's things like that we got to dialogue and talk about. Most of all, he won't even give back to my hand. Well, in their culture, it's a sign of submission when you put it on the table. When you put it on the table and push it back to them, that's a sign of saying, I submit to you. Here's your information back. All right. So it's those little things that we got to talk about, that we got to open up and say, okay, it's time out to just complain. We need resolution. We need something to go on to say, okay, I learned from it. I'm building from it, and I want to push forward with it. We understand we have issues, but every Saturday morning from 7 to 9, we can't always just talk about just what the issue is. We have to actually bring up some solutions to our issues. So let's put our minds together. A lot of degree masters, doctrines out there. You earn these degrees, and we need you all to call in. We need you all to be the forefront of it. You may have some insight to certain things that we don't have. Those who have a platform to certain things we don't have, call in. This is your time. We got to stand up. I understand our youth are not doing certain things, but we do have certain guys that are out there that are trying to help. Let's make sure we help these guys and pull and push and do everything we need to do to get this going. All right, let's go back to our phone lines this morning, and we have another anonymous caller. Let's go to line 2 and say good morning, anonymous. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you, sir?
Doing just fine. Thank you for calling in.
Yeah, I was just wondering, the shooting that happened, how many people were injured?
How many people were injured?
Yes, sir.
I don't know about the injuries. I know there were more injuries than the actual killed. I think there were 12 killed and many more is injured. So I'm not sure about that.
Yeah. How you felt about that,
Excuse me?
Connection. I'm trying to see if I can call back in.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for your call. All right, let's go back to our phone lines and let's go to line 3. Let's say good morning to Joe. Good morning, Joe.
Yes, but that guy said that people have been run off. That's true. You got these people in certain high places. They insulated. You can't get rid of them.
Yeah, the good superintendents are being ran off.
Yeah, they insulated. You can't get rid of them because they insulated from high places. Just like up there with the president up there, they fighting him up there. Them people is fighting him. They in certain districts that you can't get rid of them because they're all white. You can't get rid of them.
Right. And let me ask you a question. Who was the last good superintendent that we had that was ran off?
I don't know because I'm from South Texas and I don't know.
Okay, you from South Texas. Okay, well, thank you for calling in from South Texas. Do you all have the same issues that we do up here with DISD?
I can't remember anything like that in Gonzales.
Okay.
That's just the way the things is. These people up in them high places, you just can't get rid of them because they isolate.
Or we being sold out by money?
It's always been that money. Then we got some blacks who what I call spooks. They sell out. Yeah, they sell out. That's just where you go. It's tough. I thank you for letting me speak. Bye.
All right, thank you for your call and comment, Joe. Thank you for your call and comment. But we gotta have some resolutions to it since we know it sounds like we know what the issue is. So we gotta have what's our comeback to it. Let's take our phone lines and go to line 4 and say good morning to KC. Good morning, KC.
Good morning. How you doing?
Doing just fine, sir. And yourself?
Doing good. Hey, what I wanted to call about is I wanted to definitely make an announcement about something that's coming up that's really important to us as a community. And on this Monday at 6:30, when people get there at 6:30, there's going to be a training. Yeah, 6:30 p.m. This Monday, 6:30 p.m. It's going to be a training on the new voter ID law at Friendship West Missionary Baptist Church, 2020 West Wheatland Road. And what will take place there will be not only informing people of what's in the new voter ID law, but it'll be an opportunity for those who are interested in being trained on the law, who can go out and train other people on this law entails. A lot of people are hearing a lot about it. It's a lawsuit pending against it, but as of now, it's the law of the land. As you know, we have an election that's coming up where we have to vote on these constitutional amendments, and also the vacant seat, District 8. I believe, on the Dallas ISD school board, which could be, depending when they how soon they take action, whatever action they choose to take, could be a determining vote. Latest I heard they're probably going to take action before that election. But we want as many people to come out and get trained and get informed of what's all in this new law, because when you see it, you see the restriction. What is allowed, gun permit, what's not allowed, college ID. It lets you know that the method or the motive behind this was not protecting the vote.
Right, and this is just for the state of Texas, right? That's doing this voter ID thing, right?
Well, in particular, the state of Texas, probably about maybe 4 or 5 states since the ruling of the Supreme Court in terms of Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act. It's been several other states that have moved forward with their plans. Like North Carolina's got one of the most restrictive in the country, more restrictive actually than Texas.
Really? Okay.
But, yes, absolutely.
Well, What do you think this is in lieu of? This is in lieu of President Obama being reelected?
Oh, that's definitely one of the key factors in the moving forward with the law. I heard Reverend Al Sharpton say something. He said these voting laws were fine when we elected, Nixon, Carter, Reagan, Bush 1 and 2. Mm-hmm. But under Obama, we want to change the law. Right.
And I know you said it's being appealed right now. These laws.
Well, actually, yeah. Here is a lawsuit has been filed to challenge, the constitutionality here in Texas of that voter ID law. But it's the law of the land as of now, and even in a recent meeting, and I forgot to say this is being hosted by the Dallas NAACP and Texas Civic Engagement Table. That's who's hosting this voter ID training.
Okay, and that's this Monday, 6:30 p.m. at Friendship West.
Yes, sir. Okay. Yes, sir. You don't want to hear about this. You want to be here to get first-hand information. Someone who's knowledgeable, who's actually doing this training, is very knowledgeable of the law and also the repercussions and a potential ripple effect of this law. And we're going to see this, man. I guarantee you. If we don't see it in November, we'll hopefully get people to get out and vote in November, even though it's constitutional amendment. If you don't live in that district where the school board race is, even though it's constitutional amendments, we use this as a test run. So we know it's going to be a huge turnout in the primary. We got, here in Dallas County, we got judge candidates, we've got district attorney candidates, and things of that nature. So we know the turnout. We got, even the governor's race.
Right.
That's going to be a huge turnout in the primary. We don't want that to be the first time that people find out or get turned away because they don't have proper ID.
Right. Exactly. You don't have proper ID. You don't want to be turned away. I think they're attacking some of our elder community, as well as our uneducated community. If you're ignorant about certain things, they'll find a way to get around you. So make sure you all come out this Monday, 6:30 p.m. Be trained NAACP at the Friendship West Baptist Church. That's in Oak Cliff, Texas. You want to give that address, KC?
Sure. 2020 West Wheatland Road, right off I-20.
2020 West Wheatland Road this Monday, 6:30 p.m. Okay. Well, good. We thank you for your call and comment, KC.
Anytime.
Again, this morning we were talking about everything under the sun. We're focusing on certain things. DISD, this morning Mike Miles is still in office after even being breach of contract. He's still in office. So there must be something else going on with the board there. Either he has something on, somebody's being paid. There's something going on with this board to where even though he's in breach of his contract, they still decided to keep him after all the saying has been raised about him, teachers protesting, community protesting. Everybody wants him out, but they decide to keep him. They brought him in. Now, they may portray to the media and everyone else that they don't like him, but there's something that's going on that's keeping him in his seat after he breached his contract. So we got to dig deep, dig to the bottom of it. There's also discussion is going on with the mayor of Dallas. Mike Miles is putting on where you can come down and express exactly how you feel as far as race in the media. We still waiting on that time slot. So if you know the time slot, feel free to give us a call at 972-647-1893, 972-647-1893. If you want to remain anonymous and you want to call in and express exactly what's going on with DISD, if you're a teacher and you want to call in and express, hey, listen, this is how we feel, this is what we did. I know there was a protest last Saturday as well as a march this week, and we want to get your feedback exactly how that went. How many people showed up? If you're a student, if you have a son, daughter that's in DISD, what are their responses, their reaction to all this is going on? They're always in some mess. I had an anonymous call in and say, hey, the teachers felt bullied. You did all this talking about getting rid of bullies, and you bring a bully in to be the superintendent, and the teachers felt bullied. So call in with your call and comment, and let's talk about it. Let's dialogue. And let's go back to our phone lines this morning. Let's say good morning to line one, Reverend Wright. Good morning, Reverend Wright.
Good morning, nephew. How you doing this morning?
Doing just fine. And yourself?
I'm doing good. Got several things I want to run by you real quick because I know you're going to have a line. First of all, with this DISD thing, whatever Mike Miles did that they didn't like, and this is just an example of not holding our elected officials accountable when we put them in office.
Mm-hmm.
I want to ask them, nephew, why is there a disparity on how we treat people? One of your callers said they got rid of all of the good superintendents, and you asked them an awesome question, which you couldn't answer in Dallas, because the last superintendent we had was just as worse as this one.
Mm-hmm.
But why weren't we raised in hell about that? But for the simple reason is, when I say that, he forced principals to learn Spanish. He used Social Security from American citizens to hire illegal immigrants,
mm-hmm.
and we never raised any cane about that. So why is there always a disparity in treatment as it relates to us when we do it to ourselves? Had we been a voice, would Michael Hinojosa had been there, they never would have got Mike Miles in the first place. So because we sit back silently and never said a word, that's why people do the things that we do to us. And so how can there be a disparity on who screws over black folks, or who screws over kids? Casey just called a few minutes ago. Justice Secret Section, which Marion is the chairman of the board, is going to join the lawsuit in Dallas County on the Voters' Rights Act. What we're putting together also is, as black pastors, as black leaders, we need to come together and ask this. As a matter of fact, a lot of us will be speaking Tuesday at the Dallas County Commissioner's Court on that Voters' Rights Act. But we need to bring all of our pastors together and say we need to be a voice and tell the city of Dallas they need to support this lawsuit, because the very same people who elected them and put them in office are the same people who no longer have the right to vote. And you asked a question a while ago, Marion, about why do you think this is because of President Obama. A lot of things that we have been dealing with is because it's been the president has been in there who looks like me and you. But the majority of the reasons why is because we sit back silent. And silence helps the tormentor and not the tormented. This is about a group of illegal immigrants who came in, and it wasn't a problem when they took African-American jobs, homes, and everything else. But when they start taking the white jobs and the white homes, then it becomes a problem. This is about stopping the Hispanic community from being the major majority in this city, and at the expense of the African-American people who fought, the black people who fought for Voters' Rights Act, they're going to try to kick this thing out just to get those people. So we need to be taking a proactive approach. One more thing I want to run by you. On today in North Dallas, and I'm starting to get to see, I heard Casey mention something about Reverend Al Sharpton, and I thought about how we all came down the mall came down to march for the George Zimmerman situation, but 2 weeks later, there was an African-American man who killed his wife, his daughter, and his girlfriend and her daughters and son. One of the young men, Storm Smith, is now out of he's in children's hospital, but now he can speak. The trach has been removed. He's no longer paralyzed, and he's speaking, and he's being able to eat after 3 or 4, almost for a month when that case went down. But why haven't we raised all kind of cane about that?
Right. Hey, Reverend Wright. Hold the line 1 sec. We up against a 30-second break, and I want to bring you back. I got a couple questions. All right. Okay. This is Church Information Open Forum. I'm Marion Barnett Jr. hosting this morning. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Knon 89.3 FM in Dallas and Fort Worth, the voice of the people.
Baby chicks, goats, and other farm animals can be awfully cute and cuddly. Today's industrial agribusiness operations, however, see these animals as nothing but profit machines to be locked in tiny cages for life, fed pellets and antibiotics, allowed no connection to their natural world, and then slaughtered, often brutally. Seeing such ugliness has prompted Representative Steve King of Iowa to step forward. Passionate about agricultural cruelty, he got his GOP colleagues in the House to pass his amendment to stop it. Sadly, though, King's passion has a perverse twist to it. The cruelty that stirs him to action are state laws that he claims are slowly suffocating production agriculture out of existence. Yes, he wants the federal government to stop states and cities from passing laws that restrict animal cruelty by corporate agribusiness. No more requirements that chicken cages provide enough room for the birds to stand up, he cries. No more laws outlawing the sale of horse and dog meat, the forced feeding of ducks, or the existence of puppy mills. And no more consumer laws requiring that genetically manipulated foods be labeled. Oh, by the way, King also thinks dogfighting is a fine sport, so fine that even children should be allowed to watch. Cuddly animals are nice enough for kids, but there's more excitement and money in watching animals fight to the death. Speaking of killing, King hopes that his amendment, dubbed the Animal Torture Protection Act, will do just that to such busybody groups as the Humane Society and People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. This is Jim Hightower saying, his bloodlust aside, isn't it also a bit perverse that a so-called conservative Congress critter wants big government to overrule local authority? But King has never been one to let consistency interfere with doing corporate favors.
Yo, what's up? I'm gonna kick it with the line, y'all know. Yo, Slim, can I kick it like that? Here we go. Well, it's time to make that change. People of the world today are fading. All of us.
All right. Good morning. Good morning. We're back. This is Church Information in Open Forum. We're on the second hour of Church Information in Open Forum. I am Marion Barnett Jr. Hosting this morning. It's September 21st, 2013 on this Saturday morning. We were talking to Reverend Ron Wright of Justice Seekers this morning. Let's go back to our phone lines with Reverend Wright. Reverend Wright?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Go ahead and finish what you were saying.
Yeah, I was saying that Storm Malone is no longer in the hospital. He was the 14-year-old young man that had gotten seriously beat by the ex-husband, and we're investigating that case. And I'll let you know, Aaron, that the feds are involved in it, right? FBI is involved in it, so we're going to have to stand down until they get through. But this young man, and it showed where he called 911 prior to the killing that took place, and then especially the second killing. And so when the feds get through doing their investigation, then we're going to initiate our investigation. And it's unfortunate this man called the 911 operator, and it probably would have prevented his family from getting killed, but it certainly may have stopped the other family from being killed. And so we're investigating that case. And on today, there's going to be a fundraiser for the little 8-year-old young black kid that got shot in the mouth. They're doing a fundraiser out in North Dallas, and I got to get that information out, and I hate taking half information, but that young man is doing fairly decent, and thanks to all the prayers of the people who went out there. And that's another case that has been remaining silent. He is a young man who literally went into a community on purpose to kill somebody, and unfortunately shot a young man in his mouth, and yet we haven't even been a voice to say anything about that. And so it's amazing how we can pick and choose fights that we'll fight and fights that we won't fight. At the end of the day, we still sit back silent, and silence helps the oppressor and not the oppressed.
That's right. That's right. Now, Reverend Wright, if you wanted to become a member of Justice Seekers, how would they do that?
They need to. You can go online at justiceseekerstexas.ning.com. Like most of the other organizations, like I said, there's a membership fee. They can call, when you go online, just call the number and they'll tell you what to do. The membership is good for 1 year, and we cover everything. We don't exclude anything. One more question I want to ask you, Brother Mary. They're having a race relation meeting, and when we talk about dog and pony shows, here's another dog and pony show. The people who are fighting these racial issues should have been invited to be on the panel to discuss that, versus people who are elected officials who are only going to do what they need to do to keep their job. And so at the end of the day, we allow things to happen to us. I have some great friends who are out there protesting against Mike Miles, and for whatever reason, and obviously the community is no longer the voice in a lot of situations. We pick and choose the fight that we want to fight when it relates to us, and we should stand up, period. Your conversation about the change being given back in the store, we did a protest a year ago, and you were exactly correct, because there was an exchange of communication that broke down and caused us to protest the Korean store over in South Dallas. We found out that you were right. There was a communication breakdown, and what was said to one person was an insult, and what was said to another person was an insult. And so we learned that. And that's what we need to do is learn. And as a matter of fact, the Korean community have reached out to the African American community wanting to teach our children to speak Korean.
Okay. Yeah. That's awesome. Now, Rev, I do have one question I've been asking everybody. Who was our last successful superintendent?
I would have to say it was probably while you were in elementary school. That's how far back it goes.
So that's over 20 years.
White days and things of that nature. It's been a very, very long time, and it certainly wasn't Michael Hinojosa.
That's right.
It was about him, and he was just as bad, Mary. That's what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Why do we complain about the things that he did? He was forcing, the African American children were not a priority under his leadership.
Yeah, and $10 million came up missing under his leadership just for no reason, and never had an explanation for it.
And we never fought that. So how can we pick and see? We don't justice. We fight justice all across the board. It doesn't matter if you white, black, brown, green, or purple. If you done wrong, we're gonna fight for you. We're not a black organization. We're an organization for God's people. We don't pick and choose fights we're gonna die. Wrong is wrong. It's not about well, I can't fight this one, I can fight that one. I can't fight this one, I can fight that. That's not the case. Okay, another thing, and I know you got to call us coming in, is the voters, the election that's coming up. We've got some outstanding judges that are being challenged against by our district attorney and his office and his prosecutors that we need to take a look at. That it's not about black and white. It's about good judge, bad judge, right judge, and wrong judge. We've got some good judges who are white that we need to keep in office because they are at least giving our kids a chance, even when they make mistakes. None of us are perfect, but they're allowing these young prosecutors to just because they're black don't mean we need to vote for them. Mm-hmm. It's about right and wrong.
That's right. Reverend Wright, we thank you for your call and comment this morning.
All right, nephew. I'll talk to you later.
Mm-hmm. Again, this morning we're talking about everything under the sun. We're talking about DISD. We're talking about the killing in D.C. with the Navy, all those people that were killed. Also, the race panel that they're having, race relations panel that they're having this morning. I was under the impression that everybody was going to be able to speak. However, if it's just certain people speaking and they were chosen, again, it's only so much that they can say. But again, the question this morning that I've been asking everybody is, when was our last successful superintendent? And what has happened? What has transitioned? What's changed since then? And why is it that we can't find a good one? I understand DISD is a multi-billion-dollar business, and there are so many people profiting from this. However, we got to hold our board's feet to the fire. What's going on? Why is it that our district is always in the media? Our children are the ones being exposed to this. When they leave, they're going to have negative feelings towards DISD because of everything that they went through just to get the superintendent right. When you got disgruntled teachers, it's hard to teach. They make disgruntled students. If you're teaching you with the student almost 6 to 8 hours a day, that's a lot of time to influence the children, and if they're disgruntled, that could be a problem. So make sure you guys call in. If you want to remain anonymous, you can do that. The number to call is 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. Feel free to give us a call. We would love to hear from you. You call and comment. If you want to just call and give me the name of the last great superintendent, that's fine. It's all based on opinion anyway. Some people may feel like, hey, we got a good one now. So if you want to call and say that, feel free. We got a dialogue. All right. And let's go back to our phone lines this morning. Let's say good morning to Michael on line 3. Good morning, Michael.
Hello?
Yes. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, man. How are you?
I'm doing just fine.
I really appreciate it. Do I need to turn my radio down?
Well, I don't have any feedback. Go ahead. You're fine.
Okay. I really almost second Reverend Wright's suggestion, but I suggested it 6 months ago.
Okay.
Reverend Barnett that we all put our differences aside, and Reverend Peter Johnson and Reverend Marion Barnett and Reverend Charles Stovall and even Reverend Bill McElvaney from up there at Southern Methodist Perkins School of Theology sat down again and have a good discussion on how we can be a part of a positive change. That was my comment, and I also have a question with a comment.
Okay.
But I do agree with Reverend Knight that Reverend Peter Johnson and Reverend Charles Stovall and Reverend Marion Barnett could make a very powerful panel to help Dallas make it through this hard time. And the question with a comment is, I would like to know if former board member Bernadette Nuttall has called in this morning.
Okay.
I would like to know if former board member Bernadette Nuttall has called in this morning. Sir.
No, she hasn't been on this show.
If a board member calls in, I feel they should be public and not anonymous, so that we can all feel stronger. If they go anonymous, well, that means they're scared of their bosses, and we don't know how to help them to not be scared of them. But I would say that a good question would be to query Miss Nuttall concerning her resignation, and does it have something to do with, are you familiar with Bernadette Nuttall's resigning?
Yeah, I know she resigned, and I know district AC is
open.
open.
Reason? I wasn't.
No, I don't know the reasoning for it. So it'd be
would be curious, since it happens right here with Mike Miles's corruption scandal. It's possible there was some involvement in the scandal, but I'm only saying that we would appreciate hearing directly from her. Was he brutalizing her, or was she a part of his what he's been doing? But thank you all very much for everything you do, and bless you, Dad, and bless you.
Thank you.
This is Michael. I call in kind of often and try to be respectful. Sometimes I get a little upset, like your dad, and give people a little,
Well, it's all understandable. This is one of those shows where you can call in and
that's
express and vent.
That's what it's all about, is getting out those feelings as well as some facts.
That's right.
And the fact is, Dallas County you're asking about superintendents?
Mm-hmm.
I think the system has restricted the superintendents to where we can't have an excellent superintendent. We need to rework our policies and procedures. I think that would be helpful. But bless their hearts, we can't place the complete blame of the corruption on each of these superintendents. It is the system which restricts them and ties their hands so much that sometimes with good intentions they do some wrong things.
That's true. However, the board brings the superintendent in, and if they're consistently getting something bad, maybe we need to reanalyze our board.
Yes, that's what I said. Miss Bernadette Nuttall is a very curious nut to crack. She never would talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
Not while she was on the board, and not since she's been off the board. I felt kind of hurt and disrespected, but yes, we need to examine our board and examine their policies, and as a community, suggest some new progressive ways to do things, I think. But bless you and bless your dad. I hope they have a good trip, and everybody's all right when they get back.
All right, well, thank you for your call and comment, Michael.
Bless you.
Thank you.
And you just have a good day, and let Annie know I'm going to be out there cleaning house.
I sure will. Thank you for your call and comment.
Bless you, man. In peace.
All right. Well, this morning we're talking about DISD. Mike Miles met with the board on the 20th last night, and this morning he's still in office. They came away with some kind of agreement where they felt like he should remain, even after his breach of contract, even after all the meetings and talking about. Well, they just had to find a reason to get rid of him. It's one of those things that, hey, listen, something else must be going on, because the board was for getting rid of him. Now all of a sudden they're keeping him. They have an opportunity. I mean, he's in breach of contract. It's not like he has to stay. Yes, he assumed he was already gone. Apparently, he already moved his family back to Colorado. And to walk away saying he's staying is a bit of an issue. It's one of those things that we have to really dig deep and look into. If you want to call in and you want to remain anonymous, feel free to do that. Even if you're a board member, I'm for if you're a board member, because I understand, hey, it could prevent you from even calling in. So the number is 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. Feel free to call in with your call and comment. We want to dialogue a little bit. My question this morning has been, and it has not been answered yet. Who was the last successful superintendent in DISD? And if you can think of that, let's think of who's on that board. What characteristics did this person have that made them successful? I understand that the board may be doing certain things to keep the superintendents being successful. However, the board is the one that's picking these superintendents, and we got to hold their feet to the fire. There are certain things that we have to do as people. We are the ones that put these people on this board. So what does that say about us? What does it say about your community? District 8, you're on the clock, so to speak. You have to vote in another board member, and you got to find somebody that carries certain characteristics that won't just sell out all for the almighty dollar. You have to find somebody that knows how to bring people together, engage conversation, dialogue, that knows exactly what they're doing to persuade others to do the right thing. There's a very big issue in our community with culture, different things going on. We have to dialogue about it. There's a race relations talk going on this morning. The city of Dallas is putting this on. However, the people that they have on the panel were chosen. So if they were chosen, I mean, it's only so much they're going to do and say. We need realistic panels put together. Why don't we put together our own panel and put it on YouTube for people to see as well? You have this radio station, the voice of the people, community radio, Knon, church information open forum. We need to see more dialogue with different people coming in, talking about different cultures and race and things of that nature. And that's what I would love to see in the next shows. And I'm going to do my best to set that up where we can come in and talk about certain things, and you can call in and comment as well. That way we can understand the nature of what's going on in our community. We don't need the city of Dallas always telling us what we need to do and what we need to hear and what we need to say. We need to be on our own grounds and our own terms. All right, so let's think about that. Who's our last great superintendent? Who's our last successful one? And let's get this together. People call in 972-647-1893. We having some great conversations this morning. We up against a short break. I am Marion Barnett. This is Church Information and Open Forum. I'll be right back.
I started going cold turkey. Well, at least when I'm in the car.
I know I shouldn't do it, but it's so hard to stop. That's why I hide it from myself, so I won't be tempted.
I used to do it all the time. I stopped by locking it in my glove compartment.
My friend used to do it way too much. Now I turn it off when we're in the car.
My solution is simple. I just don't do it.
There are lots of ways to stop yourself and others from texting and driving. How will you stop? Tell us at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
All right. Good morning. We're back at the second hour of Church Information in Open Forum. I am Marion Barnett Jr., your hosting this morning, filling in for Marion Barnett Sr. We're talking about a lot of things going on this morning. We've been on this topic of the DISD, but however, if that's not your topic, feel free to call in and change it up. We can always talk about anything under the sun. So give us a call. There's a lot going on across the local area as well as across the state. National, there's a lot going on ever since the verdict of Trayvon Martin. The violence among African Americans have even increased. So make sure you guys call in, express exactly how you feel. There's been stabbings, gun findings in the North Texas area, even in DSD. So make sure you call in and find out what's going on. We have to express exactly how we feel. We have a lot of callers calling in. Make sure you are one of them getting your voice heard. So make sure you're calling in. Let's go to line one this morning. Let's say good morning to Joyce. Good morning, Joyce.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you this morning?
I'm doing wonderful.
Good. Marion, I called in because I heard a gentleman just say that Bernadette Nuttall had resigned.
Meta.
Excuse me?
No, Bernadette was it Meta? Yeah, Meta resigned.
From the DISD school board?
Yes, ma'am.
Who is Bernadette Meta?
It's the District 8 seat is open right now.
Well, that was Adam Madrano that left the District 8 seat.
Okay.
And Adam Madrano is now on the city council.
Okay.
And I kept hearing him say Bernadette, and he did say Nuttall. And that concerned me because I wasn't familiar with that.
Okay.
Okay, but going back to your other question, because that's not good information.
Okay. Well, thank you for calling in and letting us know that.
Oh, absolutely. As far as I know, Miss Nuttall is not resigned.
Okay.
But you asked the question of who was the last good superintendent.
Mm-hmm.
I believe the last good superintendent was probably Chad Woolery.
Chad Woolery. What that was early 2000s, late 90s?
No, that was the late 80s, early 90s. And the reason I say that I believe he was the last good superintendent because the business community has chosen superintendents since him, like Gonzalez, Rojas, Moses, Hinojosa, and now Mike Miles.
Mm-hmm.
And all of them have been chosen by the business community, not by the community at large or the DISD trustees.
Well, why do you think he was successful at being a superintendent, but it's been such a failure since?
Well, he came from within the DISD.
Okay.
And worked his way up. He knew the system. Most of these people that I've just named, in fact, all of these people that I just named were not from here, nor did they know the system. And most of them, when they came in, they immediately started getting rid of the people that were in the system and brought in their own people. And I am a firm believer, if you don't know your history, you're destined to repeat it.
Exactly.
And so over and over, we've gotten these people coming in here declaring that they were going to change DISD without very much knowledge at all about what DISD is or was about. A lot of it has to do with the $1.7 billion budget that DISD has. It's controlling the money. It's not about educating our kids. I am one of the ones that have been protesting.
Okay, good.
Against Superintendent Mike Miles, and it's not because we did not try to talk to him and try to explain to him what we believed would be good for our children. But Superintendent Miles pretty much let us know that he had his own plan, and that's what he was going to do. And so he left us with no other recourse but to protest.
Okay. Now, after this meeting that they had recently, where the board came back and stated, that they're pretty much going to keep. They didn't fire him. Where do we go from here as protesters?
Okay, First of all, the board hasn't made a decision as to what they're going to do with Superintendent Miles. Me and many others stayed at DISD until midnight trying to hear what the board was going to say and the questions that the board would ask. The board is going to have a subsequent meeting on next Thursday before their regular board meeting to talk about some discipline. And then on the 30th of this month, the board is supposed to come back and tell the public what the discipline will be.
Okay. All right. So it's still in there.
It's still up in the air, and it's just like kicking the can down the street is what we believe, because they don't want to make a decision.
And
broke policy.
Right, and that does concern me because you've had a breach of contract. I mean, I don't understand what the holdup is actually. Well,
the holdup is that almost every board member has received money from the business community downtown for their campaigns. But Trustee Carla Ranger, who is my trustee, and therefore the business community is trying to direct what goes on. If you read the paper, if you read the blogs, if you read anything, the business community, including Mayor Mike Rawlings, continues to support what Mike Miles is doing without any rationale or reasoning that makes sense. They bought him here, and so they're going to stand behind him, even if he doesn't do the right things for our kids. And one of the things that continues to trouble me is that there are 40,000 African-American children that are trapped in DISD. And we want them to do something to make sure that these children get what they need in terms of an education. I'm a graduate of the Dallas Independent School District. I owned a business for 30 years. I hired DISD students. I've worked on boards and commissions within DISD for the last 35 years. So I do have a lot of history with the district, and I know that things can be better, but you cannot kick out our good principals and run off all of our good teachers basing it on you want younger people in front of the kids. That's not good enough for me.
Okay. And for the people that are listening, District 8, what area is that?
That's going to be, I don't know it all, but District 8 is like the Oaklawn area, Arlington Park, Love Field East, parts of East Dallas around St. Luke Community United Methodist Church.
Okay. So their seat is open?
Their seat is open.
Okay.
And I understand there are 2 names that have come forward for that seat.
Okay.
And one of them is the former assistant to Mike Miles.
Okay. That's very interesting to know.
Well, that's what it is. And I just want the community to get more engaged and more involved because we have to make sure that these children get what they need from the educational system, because there is a national movement that basically is trying to move public schools into charter schools, and it's just like the prison system.
Exactly.
It's going to for-profit, and our kids are not going to win that way.
Exactly. Now, since you've been in graduate DSD, you worked with DSD so close, I do have a question. Is it that there are not a lot of responses when the superintendent positions are open from people who've been in DSD, or is it that they have been kept away?
The DISD trustees, usually when they're looking for a new superintendent, they hire a search firm. And the search firm then goes out supposedly and looks for people that are qualified. But a lot of that is being manipulated by some trustees or whomever wants to make sure that certain people get in place. For instance, Mike Miles' name came up from Ernie Duncan, who is the U.S. Secretary of Education. who gave Mike Miles' name to Mayor Mike Rawlings.
Okay.
Mayor Mike Rawlings then came back and gave the name to the search firm. Had no business doing that. But that's how Miles' name got in there. Now, Miles comes from a school district with 11,000 kids and 22 schools. DISD has 157,000 kids and 223 schools.
Wow.
And Mike Miles had the same trouble in Colorado Springs that he's having here in Dallas. He had protests. Teachers left. Students walked out. He had a very moderate increase in test scores. And he was there 6 years. So what makes you think that if he had all those problems in a small district like Harrison 2 in Colorado Springs, that he would not have problems with such a large district like DISD?
Right, which brings me back to my question is, I questioned the board. How deep did they look?
They didn't.
They didn't.
And I'll just tell you that prior to the selection process, a small group of us got together and met with a gentleman. His name was Rudy Crew. Rudy Crew had been over the New York City School District. He had also been over the Miami-Dade School District. I personally liked him a lot. I thought that he had what we needed, someone who could come in here who had ran a large district, but importantly, that he had also worked with a large Hispanic population.
Okay.
But he didn't make the cut.
Okay. Well, just in light of what you stated in regards to that the last successful superintendent worked in DISD, wouldn't it be important to look at some of the people who may be applying for the superintendent position, just in case if it opened, that worked in DISD before, that may know the system? Joyce? Did we lose Joyce? Okay. I think we might have lost Joyce. Joyce, if you're out there, feel free to call back in. But those who are out there, make sure you get your pens ready. We got Brother Greg Barber who's coming on, who's gonna give you your job line. Brother Greg Barber. Make sure you get your pens ready. Also, the number to call in is 972-647-1893, 972-647-1893. And just to clear something up, the caller that called in earlier stating that Dr. Bernadette Nuttall resigned. She represents District 9. Her term does not expire until 2015. She did not resign. Bernadette Nuttall. District 8 seat is open. District 8 seat is open. That is the Oak Lawn area of North Dallas. Now that election will be held soon. I believe late October, early November. So make sure if you are living in that area that you get ready to vote. There are certain things that you need to look deep into. We need some people on that board that are able to make cognitive decisions that just don't sell out for the money. All right, we need somebody on this board that are for our children, not just for the money. All right, and if you got those pens ready, let's say good morning to Greg Barber this morning line too. Good morning, Greg.
Good morning. Good morning. Just a little food for thought. Is it just this, or is it just us? From Johnny Manziel to Zimmerman to Tom DeLay.
Yeah.
It seems like the justice system is working for them, but it does not work for us.
Mm-hmm.
For us, is it just this or just us? That's a question and food for thought. If, for many of you that did not know, Tom DeLay just had his several counts of money laundering and racketeering thrown out. So he is a free man. Free man after all that he's done. The court system, he found a criminal court appeals court, which was a 3-judge court, which was 2 Republicans and 1 Democrat, that found him in a split decision 2-1, found that there was no standing and threw out threw out his guilty verdicts of money laundering and racketeering.
Wow.
But SAT Job Line, Solutions and Access Today Job Line, brought to you every Saturday morning during church information and open forum here on Knon 89.3, the voice of the people. This morning on the Job Line, we have Microelectronics is looking for customer service representatives. They're asking you to apply online at www.microcenter. That's MICROCENTER.com. Once again, that web address is www.microcenter.com. PepsiCo is looking for warehouse workers. They're asking you to apply online at www.apelitrak.com. Once again, that web address is PepsiCo looking for warehouse workers. They're asking you to apply online at www.apelitrak, that's APLITRAK.com. Honeywell is looking for warehouse workers. They're asking you to apply online at www.careers@honeywell.com. Once again, that web address is www.careers, CRAEERS @ Honeywell, HONEYWELL.com. Napa is looking for warehouse workers. They're asking you to apply online at www.jobs.genpt.com. Once again, Napa is looking for warehouse workers. They're asking you to apply online at www.jobs.genpt.com. Edward Dunn and Company is looking for warehouse associates. They're asking you to apply at 2xrecruit.kenexa.com. Once again, that's Edward Dunn and Company is looking for warehouse associates. They're asking you to apply online at www.2xrecruit.kenexa.com. If you are a child-loving patient, an energetic individual, and would like to work in a daycare setting, the number for inquiry is 972-290-4995. Once again, if you are a child-loving patient, an energetic individual, and would like to work in a daycare setting, the number for inquiry is 972-290-4995. If you are a person affected by addiction and need assistance with your recovery efforts, or an ex-offender trying to make their transition back into mainstream society and need assistance for job searches, the number for inquiry is 214-634-2722. Once again, if you are a person affected by addiction and need assistance with your recovery efforts, or an ex-offender trying to make their transition back into mainstream society and need assistance for job searches, the number for inquiry is 214-634-2722. Today is a good day if you're looking for a job to find one. Let me repeat that. Today is a good day if you're looking for a job to find one. The late, great Bob Marley once said, get up for your rights. Get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight. Once again, that question posed, is it just this or is it just us? Several accounts, not just three, but those are three examples. One in athletics, one in politics, and one in the criminal courts. Mm-hmm. All three acquitted, found no fault, no penalty. Pardon me, Johnny Manziel served half a game. He served half a game for his involvement. He got punished. Why is it that we get the death penalty, we lose our eligibility, and we're thrown out of politics? Is it just this or is it just us? Food for thought, y'all. Food for thought. The young lady did say Chad Woolery, but nobody mentions the name of I'm trying to think of the black gentleman that was the no, it was Marvin. He was right after Linus Wright. That was the superintendent of Dallas School District.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I was going to ask you that. I know you're a DSD product as well.
It was Linus Wright, and I'm trying to think of the gentleman. It was a black gentleman that was right after Linus Wright. He was there toward the end, and Chad Woolery came on after him.
Okay.
I knew his name until it came time to say it. It'll come back to me, but there was a black gentleman there, and he served well. Mm-hmm. But, you don't hear his name mentioned. But it's funny. I was wondering, because I remember when this search came up, I had been paying attention. They said they were searching. They said they had a pool of candidates, and that pool of candidates turned up to be one candidate, and that wound up being Mike Miles. And I was wondering where he popped up from and how did he get in so quick. And now that makes sense with what the lady disclosed, that he was a recommendation from Artie Duncan, the Secretary of Education, and it came vis-a-vis
Mike Rawlings.
Vis-a-vis Mike Rawlings. That's why he has Mike Rawlings' staunch support.
Right. That's why Mike Rawlings is on TV backing him.
Yeah, Marvin Edwards.
Yeah, Marvin Edwards. I do remember
Marvin Edwards.
Mm-hmm.
Marvin Edwards was the superintendent. Okay. Yes, Marvin Edwards. But I remember that there was one, Moses. We got Moses because the bond, trying to get the bond package passed through and to get out from under the court order.
Okay.
The desegregation court order under Judge Bradford Sanders. That's why Mike Moses was brought here. There was a give and take there, a sort of compromise, and I think that compromise has choked us to death. Yes, we did get a few school buildings and we did get Kincaid Stadium, but it allowed the district to get out from under the oversight of the court of the court order under the jurisdiction of Judge Bradford Sanders. That's what that allowed.
Okay. All right.
So they no longer had to adhere to a federal. I believe this was federal. They no longer had to adhere to federal oversight on what they did in the district and get federal approval on certain moves they made. This is where we are now, and this is why we are going through what we're going through now.
That's right.
But food for thought. Wake up, folks. Look at what's going on around you. When you go to criminal court, we don't stand a chance. George Zimmerman did. Mm-hmm. In athletics, if we get a nickel, over what we're supposed to get. Look at what happened to Dez Bryant. He got a year of his eligibility taken away. He was ineligible, unable to play his last year in college. But look at what happened to Johnny Manziel.
Mm-hmm.
And for our politicians, we're disgraced and run out of office and locked away and the key is thrown away. But look, justice, it might have been delayed, but he got it.
That's right.
He has been acquitted.
Well, thank you, Mr. Greg Barber, for your call and comment. Thank you for your job line. We are up against a short break. This morning. Give us a call, 972-647-1893. It's the last 20 minutes, so give us a call. This is Church Information Open Forum. I am your host, Marion Barnett Jr.
I love my human.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
All right. Good morning. We're back to our last 15 minutes of this great 2 hours of community radio, church information in open forum. I am Marion Barnett Jr., your hosting this morning, and filling in for Marion Barnett Sr. This morning we've been talking about a lot. Mr. Greg Barber just left a great food for thought. Is it just this or just us? But we've been talking about DISD this morning. Superintendent Mike Miles is still in office this morning. We had some great calls, some enlightening calls, some very informative calls. So we want to make sure that you guys keep calling in. That number is 972-647-1893, 972-647-1893. It is your time to call in, express exactly how you feel, what's going on. The question I've been posing this morning was, who was our last great superintendent, successful superintendent? We got a couple names thrown out there, Mr. Woolery, Mr. Marvin Edwards. Those are some of the names that have been polled this morning. And just to do a little background on a couple of them, they were products of they worked in DISD. They knew the DISD system, and that's what some feel made them successful. Over the last 5 or 6 superintendents, even further back. We've gone out of state, out of areas to get other superintendents, bring them in to control or to oversee certain things that they have no idea what they're getting themselves into. All right, and it may be too big for their heads, or our board is not doing a thorough background investigation on them, or they're being recommended by people who credibility has been challenged in the past. So we gotta hold our board's feet to the fire. When they make these decisions, as a community, we need to stand up, we need to step out and tell them what we're not going to stand for. So make sure that you guys are doing exactly what you're supposed to do. We got to make sure we're holding our board's feet to the fire. District 8 is open. So this District 8, you'll be having a vote come down soon where you guys can put the right person in office, where you can put the right person on that board of trustees for DISD. But let's go back to our phone lines this morning. Go to line 4 and say good morning to Michael. Good morning, Michael.
Good morning, Marion. Pardon me for my misinformation concerning Trustee Nuttall. That was me that made that misstatement, and beg my pardon, please.
Oh yeah, no problem.
I actually got the misinformation from the Dallas Morning News. They printed that that Bernadette Nuttall had submitted a resignation letter, and they never withdrew it or clarified. But we know how the Morning News is.
Right. Well,
and I would also like to suggest that panel that you are suggesting. I have the 5 members that I think would be best.
Okay. Well, definitely. Well, what I can do is, if you could, we can take a poll of who's who and things of that nature, and I'm pretty sure others would love to hear it from other panels as well. So it's just something that we have to get together. If you want to hold the line, we'd love to get your number and see what panels you would like to suggest. And
Annie done wrote them down.
Excuse me?
Annie done wrote them down.
Ain't even okay. Well, good.
And if she didn't, that's okay too.
Okay. Well, good. We'll get that taken care of. We thank you for calling back in, Michael.
Yes, I do want to make my amends. It was misinformation, and I did not mean to spread it.
I thought it was breaking news. Okay. All right, but thank you so much, Michael.
You bet, man. Bye-bye.
All right. Let's go back to our phone lines. And say, let's go to line 1 and say good morning to Michael Legain. Good morning, Michael.
Hey, this is Michael, and I wanted to call in about 911 and about cameras in general. You know, we the people are taking more pictures of Big Brother than he's taken of us. Mm-hmm. We the poor and have phones. They look like they have cameras. Some of them do. Peter Johnson told me once, not long ago, he said the camera ushered in a new age when Bull Connor set his dogs on those people on the Pettus Bridge, and that tool propelled us forward, and it's still propelling us forward. One of the things that is where they're dragging their feet, this is the police and this is 911, is if you call 911, as soon as they see that you're a Hispanic or black, Asian, or if they can tell you're a poor white, or if they even have a little bit of nervousness to your voice like I do now, they are going to treat you rude. They are going to treat you like a victim and possibly even the suspect, and they're not going to help you. I had a deal the other day where I had a guy coming into my house, and I called the police. They came and talked to the guy, let him go. I called back. They wondered, why in the heck are you calling back again? They sent somebody, said, oh, what is it now? We don't like to come to disturbance calls in Old East Dallas. I said, well, there was a guy who has an actual case against him trying to get in again. And so they left. Well, there's nothing we can do. The officer that first came in and started trying to shove my door in, and there's witnesses. And I've been talking to Betty Wafer at the 911 place. She's a supervisor, and she's going to try to find out why it took 3 calls, and then I got blamed for calling 911 3 times. We, the people, are bringing down the crime rate to historic lows. The police are not helping. 911 figures out that you're the victim, or you're a crying, limping victim, or the criminal, or the suspect, and they won't help you. But just the fact that you have a phone, you can pull your phone out and tell somebody, I'm going to commit the ultimate tattoo. Call the taboo. Call the people that all of us hate and all of us fear. Yes. The criminal justice system, the police, the judges, the quote-unquote good people. I'll actually call them if you keep coming at me with that. And we've been stopping fights out here, not even pressing the green. But when you do have to finally press the green, the police will come and make it worse. Mm-hmm. And I'll go ahead and let you run with it. I'll stay on the line if you want to dialogue.
Well, I do have a question. Have you filed a complaint?
Well, right now I'm working with Betty Wafer, and I want everybody who knows, who can, to know that you have a friend, at least an open ear. I don't know what she'll do for you. She might be investigating you, but she will listen to your complaints. When you call 911, the first time they start that stuff of telling you, of making you feel like you're the problem, or they don't want to deal with it, or if they even get rude, because nowadays people are learning how to be polite on television, on telephones. And when you call your cell phone company, they're even letting you finish sentences. It's just amazing, and it's all because of this revolution. Yes, I need to go to Internal Affairs. That Internal Affairs is the next stop. But I want other people to do what I'm doing. Don't be afraid to call 911. You don't have to face the police if you call 911. It's not like when you had a landline in your house and they will come in and want to find out what you wanted. You can tell them there's a person following me or assaulting me. That person will stop, and when the police say, well, now we want to know where you are, we want to come get you, which is so criminal on their part to want to do that. But they do. Just tell them, I don't need you anymore. The call served its purpose. The criminal is running. I chased this criminal that had his hands around my neck. People watched. They didn't care. They thought, well, Michael's a nut. Listen to the way I talk. He probably deserves it. And this was a black man who was choking me, and a black woman came to protect me. When the police and the ambulance came, they found me, but they didn't find him. But they were going to go ahead and blame me for the fight, even though I was bleeding. A black woman came to my rescue, and she said, no, the truth is, the black man, my own brother, was choking this white man, who's my brother too, and she told the truth. Okay. And she is the one who caused there to be a case. Otherwise, they would have scraped me up and took me into the nut house because I had blood on me and I was running down the street chasing an assailant. The reason I chased the assailant was as soon as he realized that he was actually on the phone with 911 choking somebody, which, by the way, they were arguing with me about the street name. I have them on tape, 911, just like this is on tape, arguing with me about the spelling of the street name, which I won't give. Well, I got hands around my neck, and finally I go, and the operator realizes, oh, this is for real. I'm at work. I'm doing my job. I'm not supposed to be arguing with this poor person. There's actually somebody being choked. She could hear it. And then I'm pretty sure that when the ambulance caught up with me, because they were being rough with me, and then the police showed up right when the witness, a black woman testifying for a white man against a black man, and then a black woman police officer comes and tries to shove my door in because she came and talked to the guy and says, well, he's a brother. I'll just talk to him, let him go. I don't know how much of it has to do with race and class, but that woman who came to my defense had character that goes beyond the color of skin.
Right.
Now,
right.
Yes, sir.
Right. Well, I would advise you to Google Justice Seekers. Reverend Wright called in this morning. If you could Google Justice Seekers and sit down and talk with them about it, I think that'll be another alternative as well.
Well, that is Peter Johnson, right? Peter Johnson was the guy who was telling me about how important cameras are, because cameras. We took a picture of the CIA killing its own president, and they won't even look at the video. When you look at the video, you just go numb and say, I can't think. Well, we see this Kennedy's head bouncing back, the direction it came from the grassy knoll. Then we got pictures of the Chicago thing in 1968, and people just look at that and say, well, those hippies are all crazy. I don't know how much it's going to take, but we now are bringing the crime rate down by calling 911 on each other and getting no respect whatsoever from the police that we, the people, are bringing down the crime rate. Right. I want everybody out there to call 911. Call 911. You do not have to tell the police where you are. You do not have to surrender yourself to their batons and their badges. If you got tickets, you can call 911. If you're black, if you're poor, you can call 911. If they don't like you, and you can tell it, if they're rude, where nobody is on phones anymore, then ask to talk to Betty Wafer. Ask to talk to any supervisor, and they will help you, or they will they will either help you or start an intelligence file on you. And I need to let you some other callers call, but everybody, use your cameras, stop crime.
All right, thank you for your call and coming, Michael.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
All right, the event today that we spoke about is today Dallas Faces Race, today at the City of Performance Hall at 10 a.m. It's at the City Performance Hall, 10 a.m. The panelists are the Bobby Ray Sanders, Robert Walensky, Crystal Ayala, Gerald Britt, and Molly Finch Belt. So if you are interested, you can go down there and witness this. It's a very important event. However, I mean, the panelists were chosen, so my take on it, they may be only able to say certain things. But let's go back to our phone line. Let's go back to our phone line and go to line 2 and say good morning to Janet. Good morning, Janet.
Good morning. I just wanted to mention the lack of coverage of a murder that was in Charlotte, South Carolina this week.
Right.
It happened the same day of the shooting in Washington. It was like 2 a.m. in the morning. Are you familiar with this story?
Yeah, the young brother got shot by the police over 10 times.
Yes. And the lack of coverage by the news and the media.
Right.
There has been very little talked about that.
Right. Yeah, I agree. It's one of those things. It was 3 police officers there and only 1 shooting, from my understanding of it. And the guy was. He said he was he didn't know what he was reaching for or something, and he opened up and shot him over 10 times. That's overkill. That is not just a killing. That's a murder. I don't care if he is a police officer. Do you have any more information about this?
Yes, what happened was he had a car wreck. He had lost control of his car, and he had to kick out the back window of his car. And he went to a house that was like in a cul-de-sac, and he knocked on the door for help. The woman called in to the police and said that a black man was breaking in her house. Well, and they told her that they were sending help on the way. Well, when the police officers showed up, the young man started running towards the police officers. And they didn't say stop. They didn't identify himself. The police officers just opened fire on him and shot and killed him 10 times. And there's been little coverage on the world news, nightly news, newspapers. No one has picked up the story. It's been on just one time, and then it was just shut down.
Right. Well, we're going to do our best to make sure it is out there and known. We have to keep talking about these things. Janet, we thank you for your call and comment this morning.
Thank you.
The young man shot in North Carolina. That's one of the very important fact that, look, race is an issue. And we have to discuss this. The media is not gonna put certain things on, because then it'll bring everything to light. I think the media has done a terrible job about expressing what's going on in the African American communities, about especially what's been going on since Trayvon Martin decision. So the young man was shot over 10 times. Was in a car wreck, kicked the back window out, went to a cul-de-sac house to get some assistance. They called the police. He was shot over 10 times. We have to do our best to bring these things up today. Brother Greg Barber called in and made a good food for thought. Is it just this or just us? So make sure when you're out this weekend, when you're out, keep those things in mind. If you're going to attend the event this morning, make sure you do that. It is 10 a.m. this morning, okay? And we'll do our best to come back next week and bring you more information. I am Marion Barnett, your host this morning. This is Church Information Open Forum. I want to thank you for your time this morning. Have a great weekend.
KNON 89.3 FM in Dallas and Fort Worth, the voice of the people.
Business owners, tell KNON's listeners about your business. You can put your business or event on KNON. KNON currently has space available to run announcements for you. Tell KNON's listeners about your goods, services, nightclub, concert, or event. Help keep the voice of the people on the air while putting your information on the air. KNON's been named the #1 radio station in Dallas by both the Dallas Observer and D Magazine. Put your business with Dallas's #1 station. Call now for more information at 214-828-9500, extension 227, or extension 233. For more information, go to KNON.org and click on the Run Spots on KNON page. It's a great way for your business to support community radio while letting more people know about you.